All right. So I don't know how many of y'all remember the situation with Carlee Russel, right? Well, I spoke a little bit on this, and then I want to really get y'all guys' opinions when it comes to this Carlee Russel situation. For the simple fact, we know she got charged with the 2 misdemeanors, right? But now, apparently, we got an 11-year-old that looks up to the Carlee Russel situation. Now, after this video, I'm going to show y'all the video with the 11-year-old that falsely made an accusation of her friend being kidnapped. Take a look at this so we could, remember a little bit of the Carlee Russel situation. I am going to react to the video again, so shit. She deserves more than just the 2 misdemeanors, but that's my opinion.
The news. Carlee is a 25-year-old African-American woman from Alabama who was reported missing by her boyfriend on Thursday night. And then she magically made her way back home on Saturday, ending a mysterious disappearance that launched a 2-day statewide search. Trust me, this sounds just as fishy to me as it does to you. Stick around as we delve deep into the story and unveil why she faked her abduction. So here's what happened. It all started on Thursday night when Carlee Russel went missing on I-459 in Hoover, a suburban city located south of Birmingham with around 92,000 people. Carlee made a distressing call to 911, reporting that she had spotted a small child in a diaper wandering alone along the side of the freeway. In an act of
which we all know is false.
Kindness and concern, Russell stopped her car to check on the child and called her brother's girlfriend for help. According to the girlfriend, she heard Carlee asking the child if they were okay, but received no response. Then Carlee suddenly screamed, and all that could be heard was the sound of cars passing by. When the officers arrived at the scene, there was no sign of Carlee or the child she tried to help. Instead, they found her car parked there, along with her wig, phone, and purse, which had her Apple Watch and AirPods inside. Can you imagine the confusion and anxiety that...
For those of you that know about the story, let me ask y'all a question, and I want your honest opinions. Do y'all believe that the parents were in this? Do y'all believe the boyfriend knew about it?
Followed, Russell seemed to vanish into thin air, leaving behind her belongings and a mystery that got everyone searching for answers. People started talking about her. There was a nationwide demand for Carlee's abduction to be investigated thoroughly. $63,000. That's about how much reward money was raised by the nonprofit Crime Stoppers of Central Alabama for anyone with clues into Russell's disappearance. And then, as the case kept blowing up on Saturday night, Carlee returned to her parents' house on foot. She was reportedly unwell, so she was transported to the hospital. Carlee's boyfriend released a statement on Instagram saying she was fighting for her life for 48 hours. Fighting what? Because the police have not yet confirmed whether or not there was a...
That right there is what makes me like, damn, yo, I don't know. This case right here is like, were they trying to pull a Jesse Smollett, whatever his last name is? But y'all get my whole point. The bull from Empire.
Kidnapper involved. Now, this is just one side of the picture. This was gathered from what little information Carlee, her boyfriend, and her parents were willing to give to the police. Let's look into speculations and evidence that people have pointed out that make it seem like a hoax. We're going to break it down for you step by step. So, Carlee's mom and dad made an appearance on the Today Show after their daughter returned home. Carlee's mom said that there were a lot of false calls and texts from people claiming to have her daughter. And when she was asked if she actually believes that there was an abductor involved, she said absolutely. She thinks he might even still be out for her. Okay, that sounds like what any sad mother affected by an incident like this would say. But a body language expert closely observed Carlee's parents in the interview and had different views. She believes that the way her mom's talking means that she is straight up telling lies. Here's what she had to say.
Do you believe she was fighting for her life? Oh, she definitely fought for her life. There were moments when she physically had to fight for her life, and there were moments when she had to mentally fight for her life.
Baby, that father literally said under his breath and mouthed the words no. Y'all, rewind, go back. You see it. Now, I'm not one of the heavy conspiracy theory girlies, so you're not going to get that here. But what I do appreciate here is the truth. And what I can say is the full truth is not being told. Now, can I say what is and isn't the truth at this point yet? No. But can I assume based on my own common sense what is going on? Probably. And I'm sure you can too. And the thing that I'm the most upset about here is that if this is a hoax or it's all been a lie or this isn't the truth and there's some alternate story, the problem that I have with this.
Yo, this was the biggest hoax. Like, this woman had the nation, the whole nation going on go mode and about to go on a fucking rant. I'm telling y'all.
This is America, land of the free. This is America, land of the free, where you gotta pay for water, even the air you breathe. Y'all screaming Black Lives Matter, turn around and watch our kids die and cry and ask why. They gotta fly high. Now we gotta be strong enough to storm the weather. Y'all weak, y'all fold under pressure. Now y'all went and lost your treasure. Oh my, look at the oppressor, dressed as a professor, calls himself a hitman, missed his target and got banned. Now he's tomorrow's trend, all for a brand. Don't act surprised. Y'all can stand. Y'all knew the plan. Y'all know that friend with that itchy hand ready to see you go missing? Damn, what a scam. The whole time they was listening. They was just a part of the plan. Got us on a mission, on go mode and ready to rant.
And that's how she has us too. She had the whole nation.
Is that there are really Black women missing, being kidnapped, being abducted. There are children that are really being out here used as bait, and to use this as a story, allegedly, is not cool, because that takes away from the realness and the reality. The next time this happens and somebody says something, we as a public might not stand up and do something like we did for her. And that is the problem. When you cry wolf, other people suffer in the end. Now, child, I'm gonna wait for the rest of the story, but let me know what you think in the comments. Also, as a disclaimer, because I know y'all girls like to tussle, I am not saying that I am not happy that she is back home. I am not saying that I'm not happy that she is safe. What I am saying is
she deserves to be behind bars. That's what we're all saying. Not two misdemeanors. Not two misdemeanors. If this was a man that would have did this, he would have been in jail. But not really, because then look at the Jussie Smollett case. I think he was the beginning of all this too.
Want the truth. So don't start with me. Don't come for me because I didn't send for you.
Remember the boyfriend we mentioned earlier? Girl, the boyfriend is another story in himself. Brace yourselves for this shocking twist. That guy is actually her ex-boyfriend. Yes, the two had called it quits after he allegedly cheated on her with a stripper. And Carlee went as far as blocking him on Instagram. Yep, the same guy who is now posting stories of being relieved that she came back. Carlee even texted the girl he cheated on her with, and boy, she had a lot to say. So you're telling me that she faked her abduction to get her ex-man's attention? Girl, that is low. There are also some other factors that indicate that this was just a cry for attention. Apparently, someone in the Hoover Police Department has stated that while Carlee sticks to her story of being abducted by some weird villagers who fed her Cheez-Its and painted her nails for 2
facts, like this was the craziest story. This girl got kidnapped by fucking Pennywise the Clown, killer clowns from outer space, and I don't know what. Like, and then they fed her the same cheese that she bought at the damn gas station.
days. Some details just don't make sense. The police department got hold of some footage from a Ring doorbell, and she can be seen walking normally until she nears her house and breaks into hysteria. Also, medics were sent to her house after she returned on a call for an unresponsive but breathing person. But when they arrived, Carlee was awake and speaking. Trust me, we're just as baffled as you are. A TikToker who has been keeping up to date with the case explained all of these details in her video and even included screenshots as evidence.
What up, Nurse Gang? What up, TikTok? So the update I never wanted to truly have to report on. So we've all been talking about the Carlee Russel case. This is her Instagram, Carlee. Over the last few days, you know, she shocked the nation, and Black women all over the country felt empowered. We felt finally pleased that America was caring about Black women.
And then this woman set us back all the way to the Ice Age.
National news outlet was reporting about Carlee Russel. This is the first time this has ever happened. The hunt was on to find this Black girl. But then when she showed up at our house, it got a little greasy. Why did it get a little greasy? Because she just showed up. So then that's when the world got divided. Wait, what's going on? Something is not right here. Okay, we don't want to speak. We want our privacy. Something is going on. What is going on? Well, when you start talking about something, people start DMing you the truth. It looks like 50 people from Hoover have already got fired for leaking what's really going on with this case. And it's trickled into my DM. So you mean to tell me All this was because she was trying to get back at her ex-man. Yeah, that boyfriend that spoke out about her being kidnapped and held and tortured. Yeah, that was her ex-man. And he actually cheated on her with a stripper. And Carlee had it out with the stripper. And to get back at him, yeah, she disappeared.
And let's not talk about the money she stole from her job.
Herself. And then got afraid when it blew up. This is what Carlee said to the side chick. Itch, please. He told me everything you said about me and you thought I told him to say that. I wasn't even with him. You're delusional AF if you think your little conversation was anything more than convenience and the fact that he used you to get back at me out of anger. You want to talk about I don't compare to you on your worst day? Girl, bye. You're miserable, or at least should be, being a stripper to provide for a child I've heard you've had from multiple people. So not surprised you don't know who your baby daddy is. Mention me or contact my NIGGA again, and you'll see I'm not the one to play with. You don't want you and your whole family touched. You're poor. I'm rich. You're a stripper. I'm a nurse. You're ugly. I'm beautiful. You could never.
Right in the middle of the beef talking about who's poor and who's rich. You see what I'm talking about?
You're the bottom of the barrel. Someone from the police department just could not watch us all suffer. So they released these details. Here's the update. She's sticking to the story that she was abducted. She says she was lured into the woods by some people who live in the woods, described as a person with orange hair, balding on top, tied her up and drove.
By the way, she's talking about either Pennywise or one of the clowns from Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It's one of them.
Around and put her in an 18-wheeler and fed her cheeses for 2 days, and they painted her nails. They kept her on 150 somewhere, and somehow she managed to get away and run through the woods to her neighborhood until she got into her house and then goes into the hospital. Hoover got some Ring doorbell footage from her neighborhood, and it just shows her
crazy. She's the first person that I know that got kidnapped and got to spend some time with Harley Quinn. Y'all don't see this shit?
Walking casually until she gets close to her house, and then she starts sprinting and flailing arms and acting a fool. She got caught stealing from work that day, failed out of nursing school, and has been on drugs. She had her friend behind her, and that's who picked her up. She was with her friend all weekend. The police knew she was safe because she unblocked her ex while she was quote-unquote abducted. She planned to disappear and realized it wasn't going to work. What up, Nurse Gang? What up, TikTok? So the update.
Here's another angle. People seem to think that the boyfriend was in on it all along. He definitely knew what was cooking, and he even made a statement on her behalf to put himself in the clear. What also needs to be considered here is that according to the Hoover Fire Department, Carlee allegedly...
It really does seem like the boyfriend knew about this. Listen, this case...
unblocked her boyfriend from Instagram while she was missing. So you were kidnapped, but the kidnappers were nice enough to deal with your boyfriend's problems. That is majorly sus, my friends. A lot of the locals in Alabama are convinced that this is all a big lie that got too out of control, which is why Carlee had to come back home. Was she afraid she was going to be put behind bars for this whole drama?
Yeah, she started thinking about what happened to Jesse Smollett, and look, boom. Like, come on, like, how? Like, yo, she really had the nation, like, the whole nation. What's crazy is because of you set us back. Now, because of you're going to have all these young women out here doing the same thing that you did, thinking that they can get away with it or thinking that they can find a way to get away with it. Like, yo.
Content creator also explained the entire fiasco with Carlee's boyfriend. And she, too, is of the opinion that this was just a poorly plotted hoax.
Now, to the boyfriend who they're saying is the root cause of all this, I don't know if he knew anything. He could have been dragged through it all the way through, just like us. But allegedly, she had him blocked past this point. And she unblocked him and wanted to see the messages of him saying, you know, bring my baby back and all that sympathy. But if she came back and her nails were painted and all these things, it's giving, to be honest with y'all.
That was because of the time she spent with Harley Quinn, y'all.
I wanted to get back at my dude. I made up a whole story. My peoples really called the police because they was not in on it. And it made my boyfriend salty. I went to the Red Roof Inn, painted my nails, kicked it, and then went back home as soon as I saw the story getting too big. So I think that's what happened, allegedly. Sometimes playing too much gets you jail time.
Let's also not ignore the fact that Carlee's boyfriend was the only one who came out to say anything about her disappearance. He reported it to the police. He claimed it was an abduction.
It's the only one who has spoken. There was a rumor out that perhaps there was something going on with her job and she had a nervous breakdown. There's some stuff on Facebook where people are talking about she checked into a hotel and there's proof, surveillance proof.
There are also rumors that just days before her alleged kidnapping, she was caught stealing at a store. She was about to get kicked out of her school, and we already know about the cheating boyfriend. What do you do when you find yourself in a lot of trouble? You disappear. I mean, we get it that the girl probably deserved a break, but did she really have to go to all those extreme measures? Because you know what? Human trafficking is not a joke. Every day, so many people are victims of this heinous crime, and there are families and loved ones who are actually suffering the loss. To make it into a drama just because your life wasn't sunshine and rainbows for a week, unacceptable. A human trafficking expert completely disregarded Carlee's parents' claim that the child she saw on the highway was bait to lure her in. Traffickers do not use methods like this as it attracts way more attention than they want. They instead go for complex ways like manipulation, blackmail, and other evil tricks. As far as we are aware, this is not a tactic that traffickers use. Sabrina Thulander, a spokesperson for Polaris, the nonprofit that runs the National Human Trafficking Hotline, told Insider, adding that it's a common myth that traffickers often use force to capture their victims. Far more common ways that traffickers use to recruit is that it's a family member. You have a lifelong tie to them and they will exploit that, she told the outlet. Another is through an intimate or romantic partner who's exploiting a vulnerability, a need that you have, the spokeswoman said. There are a lot of other tiny details that make the story so confusing. Things just don't add up. For example, in a statement released on Wednesday, the Hoover Police Department said they found no evidence of a toddler walking on the side of the highway and reiterated no one else called in about a lost toddler. Was Carlee perhaps imagining things? Also, according to the police,
She was high on them shrooms.
Carlee Russel left work for the day at the Woodhouse Spa, where she worked part-time and stopped to grab some snacks and left to head home around 9 p.m. Police released the traffic camera footage of Russell pulling over in her red Mercedes to the shoulder with her hazard lights on. Though the footage is blurry, she appears to exit the driver's side and walk around to the back to the passenger's side of the vehicle. The police arrived 3 minutes after Carlee disappeared. There was no sign of her or the food, just her purse containing her phone, AirPods, and other personal items. And the police also say that they have received no other call about a missing child since Sunday. Folks, there are also reports that Carlee was spotted at the Red Roof Inn moments after her disappearance. They have surveillance footage of her walking in as if everything was all right. Now listen, we can't say anything for sure yet, but all the evidence seems to be telling us that Carlee Russel might have faked her abduction. The motif is not clear yet, but whatever it is, it's pointless. You see, for the first time ever, the entire USA stood up for a Black woman. And if this turns out to be a lie, then no one will ever speak up for the race again. People, please don't cry wolf. Some out there might actually need help, but they'll get ignored because of you. If you want more updates on the case, press on the bell icon.
And that is a fact. What is crazy is because of what Carlee Russel just did is going to make it very difficult for a lot of, missing kids, a lot of missing women. It's going to make it difficult for the people that, get sex trafficked, human trafficked, and much more. All because of this woman is setting it back. I'm hoping that because of her lie, she is charged with 2 misdemeanors. For those of you that don't know, she is charged just 2 misdemeanors. I think she should be behind bars. That's my opinion. Like, women that falsely make accusations like this or falsely accuse men of doing things, they should pay the consequences of what they've done. Now, because of what Carlee Russel has done, we're also seeming to have now kids, little girls, they got the courage to sit here and think that it's okay that, all right, Carlee Russel did it probably, we could do it. Or they probably going to try to figure a way out, how they could probably play the system. Whichever way it goes, listen, in my opinion, I think a kid should get help, but I don't know yet how you should punish a kid, that'll do the same type of crime, that commits the same type of crime that Carlee Russel did. What I'm saying is that I'm hoping that in the future that these cops, these FBIs, all these types of units respond when a missing child, when it happens, when for some reason a child goes missing or runs away. because now, as we can see, we got 11-year-old doing the same thing that Carlee Russel did.
You can talk to your parents. We can open the window and let you talk to them.
It's not a talk any parent wants to have, especially when it's about your 11-year-old daughter in handcuffs for a prank gone wrong.
I'm telling you this right now, you're going to take this as a lesson at 11 years old that if you do something stupid in the future, you're going to enjoy those cuffs.
Her ruse was elaborate. It all started Wednesday morning when the girl, who we are not naming because she's a minor, texted 911 using the name Lily Lee Combs. She reported her friend had just been kidnapped and that she was pulled over on a local highway in Oak Hill, Florida.
Blessings, Rodney Williams. I thought the word out was to believe all women, even if the evidence says different. Okay, hold on. Let me go to these comments real quick. Rodney Williams. Since I started my YouTube, I've never been the type of chick, and I'm a woman saying this. Don't believe all women. Listen, I get the same now. When I was growing up, I heard a lot of old heads say that women are nothing but, how can I say, the women are Lucifer in disguise. So it's crazy that I always wondered why they used to always talk about women like that and say all these type of things about women. And I'm starting to understand. Not all women are women. Not all women can call themselves women. Not all mothers are mothers. Not all women deserve the type of respect you should give a woman. Some of these women's ain't nothing but female in a woman's body, or little girls in a woman's body. Some of these females don't deserve to be called women. They ain't nothing but itches. A lot of these women are worse than the men that they call assholes. So I'm sorry to say it, but I'm a woman and I've always said it. I never understood why a lot of women do or make the decisions that they make. I never understood the one part where a woman says, my baby daddy ain't shit. My baby daddy a deadbeat. My baby daddy this. My baby daddy that. But yet you're the fucking reason why your baby daddy can't see his kid. So you can't say this unless you're letting the baby daddy be a part of this child's life and actually showing you that he can be a baby daddy. But you're worrying about his pockets. You're worrying about where he's parking his car at, whose garage he's in. A lot of us women ain't shit. And I'm a woman saying this. And I know a lot of women get mad at me for saying it. But as far as I'm concerned, it's more women out here, more mothers killing their kids than what there is fathers. There's more mothers now, and you're seeing it, and it's happening more and more, that are letting their kids get molested, that are pimping their kids out. There's a reason I keep telling y'all to go watch that movie, God Forgives, I Don't, out on Tubi. A pastor, his wife, and a best friend. When I could tell you that this woman is not a fucking woman, she's not a mother, she's an itch. You blackmailed the person that molested your child. It's supposed to be your husband's best friend, who is a pastor, who is loved as a pastor. See where I'm coming from? You blackmail him instead of killing him or putting him behind bars. Let me ask all of y'all, fathers, mothers, whether you're a woman or you're a man, if you have a child or if you don't have a child, but would you like to have listen, doesn't matter. If you have a child or you don't have a child, doesn't matter, right? But if you could have a child, if you don't have a child, would you bring in street justice, or would you bring in the law? If you was to walk in and see that somebody that you trusted your child with was committing the ultimate sin with your child. Now you tell me, street justice or the law? As a parent, would you take it straight to blackmailing? Man, fuck that itch. She deserves a casket too. While I was watching this movie and I started seeing how this woman was, I was building her casket. And then when I saw that she let what happened happen, oh, in my head, the casket was built. I'm telling y'all, 7 feet underground. 7 feet underground where all these predators and people that condone this shit belong in. And half the time, women ain't shit. And I'm a woman saying it. And I know that a lot of women get mad at me for saying it. But look at this shit. Look at what us women are being role models. This is what a lot of these kids look up to. These are the role models. These are the women nowadays. Nowadays, there's not a lot of kings and queens left. After this video, I'm going to show y'all one of my poems and y'all will understand where I'm coming from.
Scramble, our air unit gets up there, so we have air support. And the text messages keep coming in about directions, locations.
2 minutes later, Lily texted police that the suspect was in a white van and she was following it in a blue Jeep. When police asked her what her friend's name was, she replied that it was a 14-year-old named Maddie Lawson. 9:54 a.m., she texted police he's tying her up. And 15 minutes later, she added that the fake male suspect was armed with a gun. Police say within 45 minutes of that first text, officers pinpointed where the texts were coming from and arrived on the scene. And instead of a kidnapping, they find the 11-year-old texting.
She tells us, oh, yeah, I thought it would be funny to do that.
Officers struck a pretty firm tone with the 11-year-old. Do you stand by the tone?
You know, you got to have tough love here. You just can't rub her on the head and say you shouldn't do this.
She insisted it was a one-time thing.
I'm not going to do this again.
Somebody could have been killed or injured. We get dozens and dozens and dozens of these calls, and we have to spend all of these money and resources because we have to take every one of them seriously.
Volusia Sheriff Mike Chitwood says the girl was charged with a felony, making a false report concerning the use of a firearm in a violent manner and a misdemeanor of misuse of 911.
Even though she was a first-time offender, the fact that she had mentioned that this person was armed, that drove her up to spend the night in detention because of that.
Her father did not return NBC's request for comment, but the sheriff does have a comment for all parents and would-be pranksters watching.
At what point does a seemingly funny prank become criminal?
This isn't ring the doorbell and run away. You're actually interfering with police communications. You are pulling resources. There's real serious repercussions here.
Now, the sheriff's office.
So it looks like they're going to get very, very hard on this, but because of what Carlee Russel did, and now this 11-year-old, and this recently just happened. This happened right after the Carlee Russel situation. Right after this happened, what I would say hasn't been a week already. It's already probably a week since this happened. First the Carlee Russel situation, and then this. Yes, women should get consequences for making false accusations of any kind.
Office says that one helicopter for that 1.5 hour ran a tab of upwards of $550. They're still working out the final costs and whether or not her parents will have to pay that. And as for the girl, she spent the night at a local juvenile detention center. She was released back to her parents this morning.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow.
So I think that was a good lesson that the cops gave her. What type of consequences we need to figure it out for the kids that think that, that when an adult does this and it goes viral, it's cool for them to do it. That's why, listen, I'm gonna say it right now. On part 2 of was it part 2? Part 1, I spoke on the Tekashi, on how he went from the from the rap industry straight to the reggaeton industry. He went from over here to the United States all the way over there to Puerto Rico to start trolling and doing all this. Now he's making Spanish music, starting a whole lot of trouble over there. Like, if you go see part 1, like I was trying to do my little translation the best way that I could, because listen, it's easy when I'm not in front of a camera, but I was trying the best way that I could. But I want to tell y'all, listen, the clout chasing the Tekashi does can get one of y'all kids killed. So y'all really, like, for those of y'all, it's okay for my child to idolize Tekashi. It's not okay for these kids to idolize anybody. If anything, they should look up to you as the parents. And y'all wondering why half these kids we're building caskets out here for. Like, come on, we need to really start getting it together. That was a good thing that they did to this girl. That was a good scare. For those of you out there, oh no, that's messed up. No, that's not messed up. Because half these kids don't know what it's like behind. Half these kids don't know what it's like being behind bars. They don't know what real consequences are because they're not being taught by their parents. They think a lot of the parents out here think that the school system needs to do it without realizing that the school system is rigged. Half these kids, shout out to all these kids that graduate and parents that help them, the teachers that do, by any means necessary, help these kids accomplish their goals and do what they got to do. But listen, half these kids don't graduate. And it's meant to be like that. And that's my opinion. But I want to thank everybody for being here today.